Hey, turd face.
Oh, there you are. I had to put in my AirPods.
Oh,
You know what that is? It's a new invention.
it's. Well, I see you're still as much of a dumbass as you always were. So that's good.
That's right. Right.
Yeah,
Well, hey, it should be comforting. At least that is consistent,
that is
unlike
that
your
is consistent.
presence. So what's up, man? You really rocked the comic book world this week by
I pulled a Kirkman. Yeah, I know.
you
What can I,
did.
what
You
can I
really
say?
did. First of all, there's no warning. I mean, you just kind of sprung it on us, and you didn't even do a whole video. It was like,
Well,
dude,
I did a whole video. It
you
was
did a 9 minute video. Usually you
yeah,
do
I
a
know.
23-minute video, and it's like, you got all you'd show 100 covers, and you're like, oh, you gotta buy this. Oh, you gotta buy that.
It's something I've been thinking about for a long. I mean, I actually started several comics years ago, and I'd get. Problem was, I didn't, of course, write out the script, and I just thought, oh, this is a cool comic. So I started drawing. I had like 3, 4, 5 pages in, and then I'm like, where do I go from here? And then I got bored, and then I did something else. So
Do you have a sketch that you would send over to me that I could share with everybody?
yeah, I can send a couple to you.
Yeah, send me a couple things, and I'll put it in the video. I think
Yeah,
people would really like that.
I mean, I love comics, and I really want to, you know, do this before I get too old to remember my name. And I had lost a family member in the
Yeah,
last
I'm
few
sorry to
days,
hear
and
that,
that
man.
yeah, it's okay, it happens, right? It's just, but it just makes you realize you got time is not unlimited.
Why don't you tell everybody real quick where you came up with the name Jim Comics?
My first name is Jim, and comics is what I love, so it's Jim
Wow,
Comics. It's that simple.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I plan on, once it's done, I plan on coming back. It's just it's going to be a while, right?
What
You there?
happened? Oh yeah, it looks like you
Oh,
muted out
sorry.
for a second.
I got a phone call
Oh
right
yeah,
in the
who is it?
middle.
Marvel trying to buy your property before they even know
Yeah,
what it is?
it's Donnie Cates calling me. He calls me all the
You love
time
that
looking
guy.
for
I
story
think you just want
ideas.
to. You.
I
I think that's
do.
why you want
I
to get into comics, so you could sit next to him at a convention, is what you said.
just so I can
So you
sit
can put
next
your
to him
hand on
and,
his
and
leg,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
When you sit next to him.
Hang on, I got to join you in a second. I got my phone on the. Hang on.
That's Jim, Mr. Popular.
Hey, sorry about that, dude.
Hey, we're used to it, man. We're used
Yeah.
to leaving, I guess, by now. Oh, by the way, we got to dedicate this to Pops Foster.
Oh yeah, I dedicated to Pops Foster.
There you go.
He's been a long time fan of my channel. Well, I've had a lot of people that have been, I don't know, I want to say fans, but they've been watching my videos so
They're
regularly.
fans, man. You could say it.
Yeah, I
Don't you
guess.
could at some point you got
I'm a
to
humble
drop your
guy, man.
full
I don't know. I'm
humble.
just a guy that collects comics, and I started doing it just because I love comics. I don't know.
That's a big thing that's going to be missing is that video where you get a really comprehensive look at what's new. So
I mean, there's a lot of good people out there. I mean, I'd like to say your channel's good, but I can't say that.
yeah, yeah, that would be a problem. That would ruin everything.
It would ruin everything if I did that. So I
It
can't do
would.
that.
So you'll be doing weekly picks on key collectors still.
Yeah, I'll still give you my weekly pick, and I'll still put stuff on Instagram because that doesn't take a ton of time. Because people don't realize. I mean, when I do those videos, I literally was spending probably 20, 30 hours just doing prep and research, and then there's then you video it. That doesn't take too long, but then there's all the editing afterwards. I mean, you know how that is. I mean,
You edit that? Wow, that's
well,
amazing. I
yeah, you
can't
got to
believe it.
put
I'd
pictures
like
in
to
there.
see what was on the cutting room floor if what
No,
you
no, no.
left
There's
in
no
is.
once I start rambling, it's a ramble. But I mean,
That's a good word for
you
it.
still gotta add. Yeah, oh yeah, it's total ramble.
I could just see your comic right now. It's like a hard-boiled detective horror novel, and it's like, oh boy, I think there's a monster over here. Jeez, oh geez, look at this.
A moose. Yeah,
It's like,
that's what it is.
well, hey
Damn,
man,
I gotta change my story now.
yeah, you're gonna have to.
You
Yeah,
ruined
it's
it
gonna
for
have to be
everybody.
a flock of Canadian geese now descend upon a small town in Saskatchewan or something. All right, so let's talk some comics. We have
Sure.
so we're going to talk today about comics that are either undervalued or speculative, which I guess would be one and the same because undervalued, well, you're speculating that they're going to go up in value. So Jim and I want to volley back and forth a couple of comics at you. I'm sure you'll find that my list is far superior than his list. He'll probably disagree though.
I'm going to start with Avengers 679. That's the first one. It's your first full appearance of the Challenger. He's a badass character. He kind of was behind. Well, he was behind bringing the Hulk back as the Immortal Hulk, which kicked off that whole storyline and everything. He's been in both the No Surrender and No Road Home storylines. All that much. I think it's a really good book.
All right, Justice League International number 18. Jim, are you familiar with this book?
No. This
is when Lobo starts to be developed into the character of like the biker bounty hunter, like the Bastage and the frag this and frag that. So like Deadpool, when he was introduced, it was like a lot of other characters, right? And then I think it was Joe Kelly who began developing the Deadpool character with the humor and everything. This is the same situation with Lobo. We're in Justice League International number 18. He actually starts to become this, badass space bounty hunter. He has this affinity for dolphins. He's like, he loves space dolphins. That's one thing about Lobo that's where his soft spot is. And then as a bonus, Lobo number 56, this character Crush has emerged just in the past year as Lobo's daughter. And she's, there's some speculation that the mom might be Harley Quinn. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, I hate to say it, but I saw that on your Key Collector app.
Yeah, that's
and the little Harley's little black book. I got I showed a couple of those as a spec book quite a while ago. I don't remember when.
Well, and what's funny is somebody was saying that they talked to Jimmy Palmiotti, and he confirmed it. I believe that somebody had this conversation with Jimmy Palmiotti, and he said that. I just don't know if maybe Jimmy was joking around.
It's cool spec, anyways. I like
it. Is it's fun, right?
That would be really cool having Harley Quinn as the mom of.
Yeah, and I've heard people go, no, they wouldn't do that. When was she pregnant? It's like, it's a comic book. Like when, I mean, anything can happen. I like when people doubt this stuff.
No,
it's like,
come on. When people die in comics, it's forever. Come on.
Oh, that's so unrealistic. It's like, well, you're right. So that's probably going to happen. So the interesting thing is there's this another issue that I think it was released in 1998, Lobo number 56, where Lobo gets married to like a regular girl, and he's about to get married, and then he starts imagining what life is going to be like being married, and in it he imagines having this kid. And it's Crush. I mean, it looks exactly like her, so it's interesting to see.
But that's one of those kind of.
It was imaginary, and it wasn't really. It wasn't meant to be Crush, but it's one of those interesting little hidden gems.
Yeah.
That those types of things I love.
Yeah, that's cool.
You better put some of that type of stuff. You should put Crush in your comic that you write.
Yeah, DC would really like that. Yeah,
hey,
sure
yeah.
They would.
Yeah, why not? Give me your next one.
I'm going with Amazing Spider-Man number 1 from the current run that we've got right now, just because it is your first appearance of who turns out to be Kindred. I think it's a full appearance because he's on several pages, if I remember right.
Kindred, I thought it was interesting, and this is something you and I talked about, that this, trying to figure out who the identity of this character is. We saw, and you knew about this before I did, I guess, because when I brought it up to you, you were like, oh yeah, I know. Kindred centipedes are reminiscent of Doc Ock's tentacles.
Yeah, I just hope it isn't Doc Ock. I really want it to be a new character, and I don't know. I hope we find out what that secret was that Mephisto, they didn't.
The one other thing that he said during the One More Day storyline.
Yeah, when they didn't get married and all that kind of stuff. I kind of hope we figure out what that is, and it's something along those lines. But we'll see. I don't know.
So the theory is Doc Ock's corpse that he left behind could have these vestiges of evil that have been
becomes the new. Maybe we'll get
becomes this Kindred. I think that's a cool. I like that.
I guess I don't know. I find they keep rehashing old characters, and I really want a new character. That's what I like.
Well, you're saying you want new characters. You don't. The whole old rehashing isn't really your thing. But Red Hulk, you're saying
not for every character, but I mean, we've had Doc Ock's been around forever, right? So.
Do you think Red Hulk is a dangerous spec because it seems like Ewing introduces a character? It's like it's not. Yeah. So because we know that there's a carnage element of what's going on with Red Hulk,
Yeah, because
and then
that was in that lead-in page right at the back. Those red tentacle, like almost looked like blood on the ground. It was kind of in that circular spiral pattern that
that we've been seeing a lot, that recurring.
Null's symbiotes and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I like you say, Ewing changes all that he brings in. Like look at Abomination; it's a totally different version. It is a good spec, and like say as a collector, for me, yeah, I can't speak for other people, but I mean, I want to have the first appearance of characters. I mean, that's the big thing about collecting is
that's just fun.
And I buy books sometimes just for the cover art. It may not be a series I'm reading, but it's a great cover by a great artist, and I'll buy it for sure. I mean, I like looking at these. So,
and you're not, and you would never even sell this stuff. You want to give it to your son.
Yep, yeah, it's all going to him at some point. He'll probably won't want them, and I don't know, sell them at a garage sale for $1 each. He doesn't collect comics, and no, he's into girls and sports and stuff. So
and you're not.
I'm married, so
in his sports. But...
Oh, I love football.
So, yeah. Who's your favorite team?
Well, I'm Seattle Seahawks. They're close to me. I've been to several other games, so they're kind of my team, but they're not doing that great right now.
Well, because it's summer, they're not really playing right now. So
no, I'm talking overall, dumbass.
Oh, I got you. Sorry. So here's one of mine. Amazing Spider-Man 238, and it's not a cheap book. It's the Hobgoblin. But I'm thinking, why would in Spider-Man Far From Home and in the MCU Spider-Man, why would they have this character Ned Leeds in the movie if at some point he's not going to become Hobgoblin?
Oh, of course he'll be Hobgoblin.
So when that happens, that issue will blow up. One thing to be aware of, there's a giveaway that's inside of this issue. And they're tattoos. They're temporary tattoos. So you got to make sure if you do buy that it does have that. Otherwise, it's incomplete.
Yeah. Or the price jumps. Yeah, you're golden.
Right. Like when you get the key issue alerts, if you jump on it right away and people aren't. What's a key issue alert? Oh, it's a push notification that's sent directly to your phone by Key Collector when something is announced. Right? Yeah.
I didn't
know. Like Paper Girls. I found, did you know this? Paper Girls is now, it got a direct-to-TV series orders. It hasn't been announced yet. Brian K. Vaughan has teased it, but a inside source has told Key Collector that it is going direct to series. So if you want to look back, Jim, do you know how to look back at your key issue alerts?
Pretty sure I do. Go into menu, don't you?
That's right. Good man.
Scroll through. Again, I hate to tell you that I actually check that every day, even though
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Even though I think you're a knob and a balloon maker.
Listen, I love Canadian insults. Knob. But there's another one that you say every once in a while. It's not knob, it's something else though. But knob's a good one. Knob's
dork. How about dork?
Yeah, that's only dorks call people dorks. Swamp Thing number 84 is actually the third appearance of Dream from the Sandman series. Sandman is hot right now because Netflix has announced that they're going to produce a Sandman series. Neil Gaiman's actually going to be working with Netflix to make sure that they get it right. So I'm super stoked about it. You don't care about it because you're not.
Well, no, I was reading. I actually was good. It's just something I didn't get into at the time. I probably should go back and read it. Whatever.
You know what I can never get into? Watchmen. I can never. I tried it at least twice.
That's one of my books that I think is. I'm really this HBO. I'm gonna go into my next book.
Yeah.
Watchmen #1 is a key book in my opinion. That's got a first appearance of Dr. Manhattan and Ozymandias and almost all the other characters.
Speak up.
I am speaking up. Right
now you're trailing off. Yeah. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
I was fading out. You're boring me. I was fading out there.
You were falling asleep.
I was just saying that it's Watchmen #1 is a key book. It's got a ton of first appearances. HBO does things well when they do high production value and good actors, and I think it's going to be really, really good. And it's going to turn a lot of people onto the series that weren't into it before, or don't know anything about comics or the original Watchmen movie. Just because it's on HBO, you're going to get a lot of eyeballs onto it, and that's going to bring a lot of heat to that book. So it's a good one to get.
You know, something interesting about the Watchmen is that initially, when Alan Moore wrote it, it was going to be the Charlton characters that DC had just acquired, and they had the question. They acquired Blue Beetle, Peacemaker. Then I think DC was like, this book is good, but it's a little dark, and we don't know if we want to do that to those characters. So then he created all these new characters.
Yeah, and he was
So,
killing off one in the first issue too.
right, you just buy all these
Yeah.
characters, then you kill off Peacemaker. I think it was
Yeah.
Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker was the comedian, became the comedian, but
Yeah, he kind of made different versions of a lot
Yeah.
of those characters.
Blue Beetle
so
became
it's-
the Owl. Jim, Action
Yep.
Comics 1001 and 1006.
Yeah, I'll kind of do those as a pair because they're both kind of linked together. It's that whole well, Red Cloud makes her first appearance in Action 1001, and then Leone makes her first appearance in 1006. And I think in one of the Naomi books, I've showed it in one of my videos, and I can't remember which one, 2 or 3 or whatever. It looks like it's when they have that battle in the parking lot with those aliens that come through the space portal, and it looks like one is carrying Naomi. She gets shot and then is laying there, and this red cloud is leaking out of her. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel that maybe Leone. So is Leone Red Cloud's mom? Because it looks like now they're working together.
Also, Leone has that necklace that is
Half
reminiscent
Moon, yeah.
of Naomi's costume. So there's a lot going on there where it looks
yeah,
like
and then she's also got the car for one. Like, what the hell's that doing? So there's something going on, and
so she bought the car from Action Comics #1, the cover that Superman is throwing and destroying. What's kind of interesting about that cover, and I don't know if this was said somewhere, but that landscape looks very alien in itself.
Yeah. Well, talking about Watchmen, I've heard people, I read some stuff actually that it's possible Dr. Manhattan is just kind of off camera in that image. Because there was that whole Doomsday Clock issue just recently where Dr. Manhattan, changed the timeline of Superman several times and seeing the difference of what happened. Now that's a great book too, because it's it's your sequel to the Watchmen, and it's bringing all the Watchmen characters into the DCU. You got a new Rorschach. You got Mime and Marionette is your first full appearance of them, and they're based on a couple characters. They're not the same characters, but I mean they're based on those. And the rumor is at this point that they're going to be in the new Watchmen show as well. So that is a really undervalued. The lenticular cover that came out with #1, there was, I think the total print run for everything was like 250,000 or something. Half of that is that lenticular cover. So you got the other. There's like a midnight release, black and white. You've got the Frank cover, the colored one, which is the same as the midnight release but color, and then the regular cover.
I wonder if a lot of that stuff is going to tie together just entirely, like Bendis' stuff, and because maybe that Doomsday Clock, maybe it's delayed for a reason. It's been under significant delays, and maybe it's because there's stuff that's going on elsewhere in the universe that they had to hold off on certain issues.
That's kind of what I've been thinking, is that they're trying to, because Bendis came over
a little later than expected, wasn't it?
I can't. He was sick for a while. And
in Action Comics #1000, the character Rogol Zar is named after
the doctor
that saved his life from MRSA.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if a lot of these delays they're saying as artists and writers and everything else, but I'm really wondering if it's because they want to link this all. It looks like it's a huge undertaking, and that whole little spiel and the indicia in the beginning of those comics. The indicia in the beginning of those comics has been in several of them where they talking about the Siegel family, how they wanted to give special. I can't remember what the wording was. Sounds like they're changing the origin of Superman is what they're doing.
So Bendis first, and this, by the way, you should check out the category in Key Collector Comics, Nick's Picks Volume 1, which aren't picks as. You like that? Did you look at it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, you better.
I like your top 20 weekly picks too. I like that.
Oh, thank you. Are you just saying that right now, or what? Are you?
No,
just
I like it.
A nice guy. Oh, good.
So instead of being only $10, it's 20.
I'll tell you what. It's that, like you said earlier, it takes a lot of time to research this stuff.
Oh, a ton of time.
Dude, that list takes me probably about 15 hours to put together. I mean, it's
Yeah,
insane.
just for that one list on top of everything else you're doing, right?
On top of everything else, right? I mean, I should be, I'm actually 17 years old. I just looked that old because
You
of
just
this.
you
This
just look,
project
yeah.
is aged me, right? Yeah, I got
Yeah,
a
well, I don't
doomsday
see.
clock. I got my own doomsday clock.
Yeah, yeah, you're
This
transcending
bed
time and
sheet,
space.
this
Yeah,
bed sheet is actually my bed sheet, and it's age appropriate. That's how young
yeah,
I am, but I look
yeah,
older because of this project. But and that is a bed sheet, by the way.
yeah. It kind of looks like it.
So
Yeah,
undervalued, my opinion. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 33. It is. I don't think that people realize that this is one of the most adult mainstream comic books that I've seen. Yeah, Colleen Wing. They show full breasts exposed. Her and Misty.
is that why you bought it?
Yeah, man. Her and Misty Knight are forced into doing heroin, and then they get hooked on heroin. I mean, this book there's some crazy stuff that's
Well, that's
going on
pretty
in it.
dark, man. That's
Right?
Yeah,
For Marvel.
that's not for your kids to be picking up and reading that one. Well, no, but okay. So this is a little segue into DC Black Label. Why is DC freaking out so much about? Oh my God, we showed Batman's junk in a comic book, but we can't show that. Oh my God, like there's so many drug issues and everything else that's been put into comics, and they label it as an adult oriented book. What is the big deal? Like, put out an adult oriented book. I think they'd gain more sales if they kept going that way. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone, Chris. Or my son's yelling at me.
Yeah. What is he like?
I need some food. Where's some food?
Really? Yeah. You're like, there's some jerky up in the cabinet there.
Yeah. Anyways, back to your book. Sorry, man. I kind of cut you off.
No. They're actually reprinting the full version of Batman Damned, where they show his.
But is that going to be like a hardcover kind of thing, or what's that going to?
No, it's going to be a pop-up book. I thought you were making the joke. You're like, hardcover? No, it's going to be a pop-up book. Right?
Oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize.
No, you didn't.
I didn't even realize where that was going. That's funny.
No, all right. No, they're not reprinting it. I'm just.
They're
kidding.
not. I didn't think they were. That's why, and that's why, as
Should
you know, talking about speculators, that's why that first issue is just is holding on its value.
There was a retailer copy that came out of that book. Now that we're talking about it, that it was just it had no tag.
That was the
retail preview.
There's not a lot of those out there.
No, there's not. We were talking about Black Hammer earlier. You can get a lot of these issues for pretty inexpensive, except for maybe the actual introductory issue. But
yeah, first issue. That's the only one. I have the first issue and a couple other ones, but number one is a good one to get for sure.
They're supposed to be developing this universe for television and movies. If that does turn into something big, Black Hammer, you're going to want to pick up the first appearance of Sherlock Frankenstein. There's a cameo of Sherlock Frankenstein in Black Hammer number 2. It's not well documented on other sites that there is that. So that one could be one that will bump up. Its first full appearance is Black Hammer number 8. And they just released that Encyclopedia of Black Hammer, which preview of characters that haven't been introduced yet. Have you checked? Do you remember? Did you ever read Animal Man when Jeff Lemire was writing it?
No.
It's damn good. It is damn good. And that's not. I'm not saying it's undervalued. I just think it's good. All right, what do you got?
Well, I got Coyotes number 1.
I wasn't understanding why you put that on there.
Well, Sean Lewis wrote that, and he's the writer of that Thumbs, which is a new one that's out.
Isn't that what you put in your butt?
No, but Coyotes number 1. It came out in 2017, and I'm just all I can say is because I can't really say any more than that. It's a really good one to buy.
Oh, so you're saying that they're going to be
a lot of stuff. I'll put it this way: a lot of stuff is getting optioned nowadays.
Listen to this guy.
How's that?
Who do you know?
I can't say anything else than that.
All right, okay.
It's a good one to get. That's all I'm going to say. Thumbs is a good one to get too.
Yeah,
it's funny. Sean Lewis wrote both of those. That's interesting.
Isn't Thumbs what you put in your butt?
Yep. Anyways, it's a good series.
So, there's going to be so much Marvel spec on X-Men when the time comes. Actually, Marvel's going to announce did you see this? They're going to announce their plans for Phase 4 at San Diego Comic-Con.
I heard something about that, but I haven't read a whole ton about it, so let's see what happens.
I just told you what's going to happen. They're going to announce their plans at San Diego
Yeah.
Comic Con for two.
Okay, well that's great, but
Phase
what's going to
4.
happen? We'll have to see what happens with it.
I'm going to be there. Did I tell
Sounds
you I'm gonna be
interesting
on
for sure.
Did I tell you I'm going to be on a panel? I'm going to be speaking at a panel there.
No, to who? In the washroom? Where you
Yeah,
speaking?
yeah. In the lobby of my hotel, 30 miles away.
Nice, perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be on an innovation in comics panel at San Diego
cool.
Comic Con
Well,
2019.
good for you. Are you going to have put out a video or something on that, or what are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of it. Maybe I will actually.
You should get somebody to record it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I love seeing, because that's the problem. If you don't go to these bigger conventions, you don't know what happens there. So
I'll be at all the panels, and I will be announcing everything. You'll probably hear it first from Key Collector via Key Issue Alert. Were you helping me with that segue? Is that what you were doing there?
Yeah, no, was I? I don't know. Apparently, subconsciously, I was.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So X-Men. So what I'm saying, with all the speculation, who knows if anything X-Men related is going to be announced as far as the MCU Phase 4, but at some point, we're going to have to start talking about X-Men speculation. And, one
for sure
undervalued issue, in my opinion, is X-Men 221, first appearance of Mr. Sinister, because for a long time now, they've been talking about getting this out. What's interesting, so that X-Men 221 is the undervalued issue because it's going for about $20 right now. Yeah, but I also find it, what a lot of people don't know is that there's a cameo of Mr. Sinister in X-Men 213, which is the cover of Wolverine and Sabretooth fighting. I don't think they knew what he was going to look like yet because it's just a shadow, and in the shadow, the silhouette doesn't even look like what Mr. Sinister would look like, but it does exist. So just letting you know. Just letting you know, Jim.
That's a good book. Good book to get. I'm pretty sure I got that one. I'll have to go dig through my X-Men boxes. But
how many long boxes do you have?
I don't. It's funny. I probably only got 3 or 4 long boxes. I use mostly short boxes. I just find the long boxes.
How many short boxes do you have?
I don't know. I got lots. Who knows? I got them in 3 different rooms. So yeah.
Jeez.
Oh boy. See,
you infected
me. Funny.
Jeez, no boy.
You're gonna. It's funny. You're gonna be out walking around. And you're gonna be saying that to people.
I know, and be like, "Oh boy." I know. What'd you think of my tribute to you, by the way?
That was pretty good, man. That was very nice. You didn't have to do that, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, well, I care about you, and you got this thing going on, and I hope that what are you feeling uncomfortable because I said I care about you? Do you have a hard time when men show you?
I'm starting. Sorry, I just got to get some Kleenex. I'm wiping the tears away. It's funny. That Marvel's going to do something with X-Men. There's some YouTubers out there that say, "Oh, there's nothing. They're not doing anything with the X-Men they're putting them on the shelf for the next 20 years." I'm like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? But.
Do you see it?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I got to run.
Bumpus his dogs.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Batman White Knight 2 and 3 are really good books to get. It's your first Marion Drews in number 2, and then she becomes Neo Joker in number 3, which is a key book in my opinion.
What are you thinking about this detective Cole North?
Oh, I like him a lot. I think I've said it a few times. I think he's going to become, eventually, kind of like Jim Gordon is to Batman. That's how I envision him. Yeah, because he's kind of your straight and narrow cop. He doesn't mess around. He's not corrupt like a lot of them, bought off by the Kingpin, all that kind of stuff. And he met Kingpin and just kind of despises him and wants to, knows he's a criminal. Yeah.
Punisher. In my opinion, the limited miniseries, the first issue,
like the first 4,
the 5 actually,
5
but
or whatever it was, yeah.
I think you could get that. I'm looking right now on eBay, and it's $30, and these are Mike set covers that are awesome covers.
And that's the first solo title, isn't it?
First solo title where it has the Punisher. It's the first book that has the Punisher printed on it, and it is dirt cheap. Okay, you love this Kill Puddle character.
I do. I just think he's hilarious. He reminds me of Spy versus Spy, the old Mad magazine, which DC just announced they were ending this week.
You got Deadpool number 10.
Yeah, well, that's your first good night, right? So I think it's a total take on or slight of Batman and the Dark Knight, but. it's a cool character. And it turns out that Deadpool killed Goodnight's parents in the same fashion that Batman's parents were killed.
Speaking of Batman, Shadow of the Bat #1 is the first appearance of Victor Zsasz in Mr. Zsasz. He is confirmed to be in the upcoming Birds of Prey movie along with Black Mask. And this issue could still get for $1. So, in my opinion, undervalued.
I don't get that. That's a key book. I've got that book. Yeah. He's been around, and he's a creepy dude. All those cuts all over him every time he kills somebody and stuff. So he's pretty cool. What
do you think is going to happen with this this absolute carnage? Like I feel like even though there is some resolution to Dan Slott's at the end of his run, Red Goblin was defeated.
Well, he was defeated, and he used that machine to suck all the Red Goblin out of Normie. Well, at least you thought it was, but then on the last page, you see a little bit of that red still in his eyes, so he's still got it in him. He's still going to be.
Goblin Child is his name. Maybe Goblin Child is going to be bringing out the creature that's in Dylan, Eddie Brock's son.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? Yeah, I don't know. There's something that could be. You never know. I think Dylan, this next issue, that's Sunday on the cover, and it's the symbiote's in the Sunday, and it's leaning towards almost like it's going to grab onto Dylan's hand. Looking at Rhino, and it's like the symbiote's going to merge with him. And the funny thing is, like Dylan's first cameo was in #7, and his first full was 9. And here's a real jump at out into spec world. But what's 7 plus 9?
Let me see.
16, Nick.
Oh, it's okay. 16, right. You must have an abacus there, I bet.
Yeah. No, I'm just really smart.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool. Damn.
This is a big issue coming out this week.
And that is your pick of the week on Key Collector Comics. So make sure that you check out Jim's weekly picks on Key Collector Comics, and maybe he'll do a category for us.
Well, I'm still gonna like I say, I'm still gonna be it's not like I'm dead and buried here. I'm still gonna put out my picks on Instagram. I'll still contribute to your app. And I'll still, when I have time, people can message me and I'll answer their questions and all that kind of stuff, which I've always been doing. So maybe you and I will get together every month or two and do a little rehash of comics or something. Well, see if anybody actually watches.
Well, anyway, hey, man, appreciate you doing this, because I think now, especially now, with you abandoning everybody like you did so callously.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
I think
I will be back. I'll be, as like Arnie says, I'll be back. Great app.
Thank you. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. I'm not gonna pitch your. What? Something about your app? I don't know.
Yeah, should I get a great app?
It's okay. Yeah, it's good. It's okay. It's mediocre.
Mediocre. Get out of here. You're a mediocre. So thank you for the 2 years of providing the information that you did and entertaining people, because I know you meant a lot to people, and now you're dead. Right. Jim, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care, Nick.
Okay, talk to you soon. All right, bye.